What is up, you guys? I am your host, Thaddeus Sims, and I am just waking up, and it is 3:02 p.m. on a Tuesday, and I am so excited. I literally stayed up 24 hours straight yesterday. I had a lot of stuff to do, but it feels good to just wake up, and I was like, it's time to do a podcast. I am excited about this. So don't mind my crazy voice, but yeah, I'm excited. So obviously, as you see in the title, this podcast is about your gift and the people you'll meet. So, of course, before we jump into this, I have to share another little fun fact with you. And this time it's about bunnies, right? Okay, so a group of bunnies is called a fluffle. And I know I always say this wrong, but if I see a group of bunnies jumping around, which randomly I see them sometimes, maybe in Port St. Lucie or somewhere, which I didn't even know they have fluffles out there. I think it was like random, or those could be rabbits. I don't know the difference. I could Google it, but that's a lot of work. So I guess I might be saying it wrong, but yeah, I think I seen some fluffle out yonder in Port St. Lucie. That was pretty interesting to me. Just learned that. All right. So this podcast is going to be a bit more serious. I can try. Because when it comes to serious, I don't know. I'll say serious and then I start laughing and I just throw myself off. But I really want you guys to take this podcast as serious as you can. Ignore my laughing and ignore the crazy things that I say, but take it serious, guys. So let's just dive into this, your gift. Now, what you want to do is that you're going to want to sit down and discover what your gift is. And a hint is it's something that you're really good at and is easy to do. Now, just to give you a reference, because I've been learning a lot of things lately, and when I share the things I learn, I would like to share my sources or whatnot from them. But I got this from Steve Harvey. You can type in YouTube, Steve Harvey, your gift, and it's like a 5-minute video, or I believe that he talks about it. And what was cool about that video is that it was a very life-changing video for me because I was in a period of my life where I was doing a lot of things, but they really wasn't like producing a lot of fruit for me. And that story really impacted me and it changed the direction with a lot of stuff. Actually, it was because of that video that we have the Connect 0007 podcast today and other stuff. So I really had to sit down after hearing that, and I had to do things. I had to ask very close friends who know me very well, what they thought my gift was. I did it for myself, but I wanted to see if it would still tie into what I thought it was or what I figured it out. And it did. And you really want to do this because it's a really super important thing. You need to do it for yourself, your friends, and even the family, and even the world around you, to be honest with you. It's really super, super important because it will make room for you. Like what Steve Harvey said, your gift will make room for you. And it'll also give you everything you need. Though you really do need to take time to figure it out, and you definitely have to prioritize it like it's a life or death situation, because it is. And you may say, well, what do you mean? How is it a life or death situation? Now, I say that because most of the time, some of us don't really know what it is that we're good at or what the heck we're even doing here or why we're even on this planet. And we're just like wasting time. We're just doing stuff. We hear this to do this, so we do it. And it's kind of like you just not really say you just living a life, but it's like you're kind of wasting it if you don't really know what you're doing. You're not really all that excited, blah, 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 blah. So when it comes to your life and knowing what your gift is, it will definitely like jumpstart a lot of things for you. Now, I'm going to tie into all those other things of why it's good and why it's not to know your gift. So I really want to hone in on the people who say they don't really have time to really just do that, to sit down and figure out what their gift is. And because I say this because I've met people who, I've talked with a lot of different people, and I observe, and out here when it comes to like things that are really important and life change for people, they say they don't have time, or they're busy, or they have this, and it's like you didn't hear what I or the other person said. Prioritize it. You're prioritizing this other stuff that's really not going to get you what you need. So it's like you missed the first step, prioritize. And if you don't have time, you need to make time. You need to take that time back some way, somehow. Because when it's a priority, you will make time for it, like you do your job, like you do whatever, your business or a sport or whatever it is that you're passionate about. You make time for that. So just like something regarding your gift, you will need to take the time for it. Because if you don't, you won't ever have the time to do it. For those who say they don't have time. So really just sit down and make time. Even if you have to sacrifice something for a day, do it, because it's going to change your life and the way you do things. Now, sorry, need to drink me some water, guys. This is what happens when you're just waking up. But that should get some good rounds. Here's what happens when you don't do it. When you don't, find your gift. And you can let me know, or you can just feel through the podcast if you relate to this. One, depression about life. If you don't really know what you're doing here, you don't really know what your purpose or whatever it is. I'm just going to keep it with gift. I'm not going to say other stuff. If you don't know what your gift is, you're just kind of here. You're just doing stuff. And if you don't really know, it's just like one of the things I've come across, don't quote me on this, but this is just my experience with other people, is that when those who are a bit depressed about life, they don't really know their gift or what it is that they're doing here. And that's a common thing that I have experienced. Now, I know some of you may say it could be this or it could be that, but I'm just telling you what I experienced. For some who don't know the gift, depression about life. Another thing is a built tolerance for things you despise because you don't know your gift. And what I mean by a built tolerance could be, the most easiest one. Most of us will go to a job that we don't really care nothing about, and we have to deal with people we don't really care to deal with. Like if we had a choice, we would not deal with, all of these different factors regarding our job. But because you don't really know your gift, you're going to build a tolerance for that. Somehow, some way, you may say, oh, no, I just don't get along. No, you built a tolerance because you're willing to go back to the place, back to the environment you don't care for. If someone literally offers you all the money in the world so you wouldn't have to work, you wouldn't be working. For some of us, you wouldn't be doing it. And that's just an example when it comes to just work. There could be other things that you built a tolerance for because you just don't really know what it is your gift is. Another thing is very rare moments of happiness. And I will tell you, I have definitely experienced, to be honest with you, I've experienced all of these, but we're just going to go through some of these. A very rare moment of happiness. It's like, we all will go out with someone. Some of us may go to the club, which I don't, but some of us may go to the club. Some of us may just do something and we just get that moment of happiness and it feels good. You don't think about everything. It may last for a minute or two. It could be that moment where you're laughing so hard with friends that your stomach is hurting and you're crying, laughing, and you forget all the other stuff that's going on. But when you leave, you're going to start thinking those things. You're going to start coming back to your life and what's going on. And those moments of happiness become very rare. Another thing is wasting your time on unimportant stuff. Wasting your time on unimportant things. And I don't really have to go into details here. Most of us know when we're doing stuff and wasting our time on things that we know is just not benefiting us for nothing. Another one is constant moments you will have with yourself saying, this can't be life. We've all had that moment or that sit down period where we're just like, this can't be my life. This can't be, I just go here, I just go there, and I come back and I do this for, 20, 30, 50, my whole life, 50 years or plus. This can't be it. And you're right, it can't be it. You can change these things. And then just the last thing is you may have desires, like I'm pretty sure we all have those desires to go or experience cool things, but we don't because of constant circumstances. Like you hear it all the time. Oh man, I would love to do this or I would love to do that, but I got this going on or I have X, Y, and Z going on. And we've all been there. So these are just some of the things that you experience when you don't really know it's your gift. Now, let's just say once you do, let's just say you do sit down, you do discover, okay, this is my gift. This is something that I'm good at. I got this. Just to give you guys a bit of an example with that instead of just saying it. Again, like I said, most of these things that I've named, I went through this. And for me, my gift is just connecting with people. I'm pretty sure I've said this on the podcast multiple times. But my gift is just, I love connecting with people. It's super easy for me to do. I don't have to think about it, whatever. And I had to sit down and, discover what it is that I can do to utilize this gift and go different places or just whatever it is. But once I got it, it was just like, okay, I have something to work off of. And really, once you do get that, you get that set in stone, this is my gift, what'll happen is that you'll literally have direction and awareness in your life. Now, I say this because it's super, super honest. And it feels really good when you just know, like, I have direction. And it's just amazing. It's really just amazing. But before I go into more stuff, just like, we have to be honest. We've all had those periods in our life where we didn't know where we were going and it didn't feel so good. But now that you have direction, there comes a power with this. And let's be honest, that power feels really good. For some of you who may already know what that gift is, some of my friends, I'm noticing they are discovering what it is, their gift is, and they're utilizing that. And they do feel really, really good. And it's just like this honest, like, I feel good. And I use the word it's an honest because some of us may say, oh, yeah, I feel great. You know what I mean? But they're just saying that, and it may be temperate. But it's an honest because it's just like this is radiating from my core. It's like I'm not just saying this to say this. I'm not saying this to be positive. This is just what it is. Now, you get that. You get your gift. You already know what happens when you don't know. But let's say you do. We're here. You get that power. You get that direction and whatnot. Now, I want to tie this in with the people you'll meet because this is important. Now, with direction comes awareness. So what you'll know is that you'll start to think about the people you need to talk to regarding a certain expertise in something you'll need. For example, when I was debating on my podcast or whatever, I meditate first. That's my thing. I have to connect to my source and get my wisdom from there. And so doing, once I, got it, me and the source are on the same page, then that's when I started to think of, okay, I need to know someone who is good with, let's just say, audio stuff, or I need to know someone who has done podcasting or whatever it is. You start to think about the things you need and someone who you know is really good at that. And you just ask them certain questions. So that's what I mean in that regard. Now, this will then promote you to connect with others, and not just any old person, but the right people and those with quality. I'm going to say that again. With the right people and those with quality. Now, this is important because it causes you to be aware of those who are in your life now and what associations need to be changed when living in your gift. Now, I'm not going to go too much into association. You can just listen to the last podcast, but it does come to the association part. Now, when you're with people who your gift attracts you to, you start to change in profound ways, literally. Your friends will notice the change, and then your family, and eventually the world. It's a domino effect. And some of those changes may be just growth in all areas of your life. And I say that because I have been talking with a few of my friends, and I have been excited like a little high schooler, because in discovering my gift, following it leading me to quality people, also leading me to cool events. What's been happening is that I have been growing in an area, let's just say, of education. And I was always just like, I really want to educate myself on just different things. Like I have a hunger for education. Now, I used to read books all the time, and that, and it's good, but I have, like, my intuition hasn't led me to a good book now. But what my intuition has led me to is different things that work with the flow of my gift and my life. Meaning, instead of a book to teach me something, I may watch, there's a show or an app called Gaia TV, and it's like science, spirituality, and just a bunch of other cool things that's like up my alley that like is really good. So I'm learning in that area. There's also an app called Elevate, which I'm improving my reading, writing, math, and speaking skills, which is awesome because I used to think I was really bad in math, but now I'm advanced in it. I'm super excited. Not like trigonometry, nothing like that, but compared to where I was, god dang it, I have improved. Also just overall how I feel, things that I'm learning. So it's just literally like all areas of my life are improving. So that is something as well. You'll just notice that once you do that, like I said earlier, your gift will make room for you, and other things will start to, affect and rise. So just to wrap this up, your gift will make room for you. You'll connect with quality people along the way, and your life and those around you will change. Now, I wasn't going to make this super long because this is something that, like I said, I want you to make it take it very important. And it's something that I want you to, instead of just listen and be like, oh, that was good, really sit down and just kind of dissect this podcast and just see, okay, where you are at in your life, and see, okay, are you in the process of, I don't even know what my gift is, let me sit down and do it, Or, you may already have that, and then you may be in the process of, okay, what direction, where do I need to go? What is it I need to do, with this? Sit down there and start to brainstorm, let it come to you, meditate. Obviously, be away from distractions. That's the biggest thing that I had to do. Turn off your freaking phone, get in a corner of the world, and literally figure it out. Let it come to you. Whatever you got to do. Go for a walk, God damn it, if you have to, away from people. Or even with people, whatever you want to do. As long as your main focus is you're trying to let it come to you and figure it out. Do something. Learn where you're at in the process. And once you do take the necessary steps to change your life and follow your gift, because it will make room for you, opportunities will start to open. Your overall quality of life will change because you have quality people in them. And it will be a domino effect of just epic proportions all around you. So I'm going to wrap it up here. And I just want you guys to really just sit down and think about this, because this is your life at the end of the day. And your life is very, very important. And you don't want to just sit here and be wasting it. So just do this, figure it out, change your life. And then once you do, come talk to me, because I would love to hear like how you change your life. So that being said, guys, I will talk to you soon. There may be a surprise coming up for you guys in the next few weeks. So keep that in mind. So that being said, you guys have a fantastic Tuesday. You guys are great. Also, thank you for the new listeners. I know I said I was going to wrap it up, but I got to give thanks to this. I want to say thank you for the new listeners on the podcast. And thank you for all of my friends who've been sharing the podcast. I greatly appreciate it. And again, for you new listeners, Thank you so much for giving me your time. Thank you for really just, connecting with this. It's been awesome. I've just been noticing there's a jump in numbers just these past, few days. I've been getting notifications saying, hey, like this is increased or something like that. So thank you guys. I greatly appreciate it. I think we're halfway to 400 400 downloads or whatnot. And that's like pretty fast. But anyways, I'm grateful for it. So thank you. And by all means, guys, don't ever hesitate to ask a question or leave a comment or something, or even just recommendations like, hey, can you talk about this regarding connecting with people? So I'm done. You guys are awesome. I will talk to you soon. Later.